Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Olson. Hey, we are going to be reading today a story called A Zoo for Mr. Muster by Aloud. He did both the pictures and the words. Every sunny day, Mr. Muster put on his vest and coat and hat. He walked happily along the street to his very favorite place, the park zoo. Mr. Muster loved all the animals in the zoo, and all the animals in the zoo loved Mr. Muster. The elephants trumpeted loudly when they saw him coming through the entrance gate. The lions began to roar. The birds and monkeys screeched and chattered their welcome. There was so much noise that the zookeeper had to put his fingers in his ears. Mr. Muster always spent the whole day at the zoo. He just loved it. When night came, Mr. Muster felt very sad. He hated to say goodbye to his animal friends, and they hated to say goodbye to him, too. "I only live at the end of the street," sighed Mr. Muster, "but it seems far, far away when I have to leave my friends. Goodbye." Mr. Muster did not live alone. He had 2 goldfish in a bowl and 1 canary in a cage, who sang all the time. When Mr. Muster couldn't go to the zoo, he felt sad and lonely when it rained or had sleet or snow, and he missed his friends. One day, while the zookeeper was taking a nap, an elephant took away his key. That night, the elephant opened all the cage doors. The animals knew exactly what they wanted to do. They walked to the big apartment house where Mr. Muster lived, and they tiptoed right past the doorman. Mr. Muster had just gone to bed. He heard the doorbell. Ding dong. "Goodness gracious," said Mr. Muster when he found all of his friends outside the door. "Come in. Oh, do come in." The next morning, the zookeeper could not believe his eyes. "My animals are gone. They're gone." Well, the policemen came, and they began searching high and low. No elephants to be found, no animals anywhere. In the apartment house where Mr. Muster lived, somebody saw an elephant in the elevator and a hippo in the hall. Some strange things began to happen. Noises were heard from behind Mr. Muster's door. Well, somebody called the police. They came quickly. The zookeeper came with them. The policeman knocked loudly on the door. "Open up, in the name of the law," they cried. The door opened slowly. There stood happy Mr. Muster. "Oh, good day, gentlemen. Won't you just join us for lunch?" In the middle of the table was a huge chocolate cake that Mr. Muster had just baked. His friends were happily surrounding the cake and him. The zookeeper and the policeman were too surprised to even speak. Finally, the zookeeper said, "All these animals must come back to the zoo at once." At this, there was great roaring, trumpeting, and screeching of those animals. They ran from the table because they were looking for hiding places. "Halt, in the name of the law," shouted the policeman. The animals hid in the bathroom or wherever they could find in the bedroom. "Mr. Muster," said the zookeeper, "perhaps they will listen to you. Please ask them to come back to the zoo. If you can do this, I will let you do anything. In fact, I'll make you an assistant zookeeper with a uniform and a badge." When they heard this, all the animals jumped up from their hiding places. They marched back to the zoo with Mr. Muster in the lead. Oh, look how happy they are to go back home with their best friend. Soon the animals were in their cages at the park zoo, and happiest of all, of course, was Mr. Muster with his uniform and his badge and all of his friends close by all the time. Good night, Mr. Muster. I hope you enjoyed our zoo story. Bye.